But I've got to ask you this, because you mentioned taxes. Last week for us, we know that there's a national effort. There were several of these tea parties down here in Valdosta. There's one in Tifton. We know they're all over the state of Georgia. Give us your input as to the tea parties or what we could do with the current tax system.
First of all, about the tea parties, I attended two. I was in Warner Robins earlier in the day, and then left Warner Robins and went up to Atlanta. And one of the things that I did was I got a chance to speak in Warner Robins, but what was more important to me is to go around in the crowd and talk to folks and just get their general the general vibe of the crowd. And it's been sold as something about crazies and lunatics on one hand, or right wingers on the other hand, but that's not the case. These are just everyday citizens, some who've never been involved in politics, who are just sick and tired of what's going on in our current governance structure. As far as the taxes, when you look at taxes, what does it do, and what does government do? Government doesn't earn anything. Mm-hmm. All they do is redistribute wealth one way or the other. And people, I think, are tired of having their money taken, sent to either D.C. or in Georgia, sent to Atlanta, and then having to beg for it back for the type of services they want. So we have to look at a way of cutting out some of that bureaucracy. I think the best way to do that is stop sending the money away. Most taxation is local. It comes out of people's pockets. So what's the way that we can move that money back into the local community, move it back in the citizens' pockets, let them be the decision makers for what type of things they want to spend it on?
Now, as we're looking at this, because Ed, our producer here, Ed and I actually went to two of the tea parties here locally, and the question that a lot of people were asking us was, well, what do you do now? Because for the average citizen, look, we've had the protests, they've walked around, they've done, they had the signs, they had the flags, they had the posters, but now people are saying, okay, what do we do next? Do you have another tea party? Do we wait till July 4th? Or are there any things that you see that people could go, okay, we need to do this. This is what we need to do for April, May, and June of this year?
Well, of course, they talked about having another series of tea parties for the 4th of July. But what I would suggest is that, first of all, get in the mindset, if you're fed up with what government is doing, you have to remember that the government we have is based on the consent of the people. So if we want to change what's going on, the people have to say they're ready for that change. And if they are, they can make that change. I would also suggest to people, look at the Libertarian Party. If you look at the two other major parties, most people are saying they're so similar, they're doing the same thing that we don't really have a choice. But they do have a choice. There's other parties, but I would, of course, recommend, I'm a little biased, the Libertarian Party. Why don't you just look at what we believe in, and I think it fits in with what a lot of other citizens out there believe in. They just don't know about us. I think that, and get energized, go out there and make a difference. But it's about people's rights and their freedoms. If we can concentrate on that, rights and freedoms, and government's role to protect those rights and freedoms, then I think we can really turn the whole culture of the country around.
Now, John Monds, just one final question, if I may, before we let you go here. We know that the governor's race, it's a while off. I mean, we're talking about a campaign that basically is going to take another 18 months. Can you sort of give us a sense of what your timeline is for the next 18 months? I know that you're going to have numerous appearances, but how do you break this down? How do you make this something that you can contextualize before the actual election itself?
Well, one thing we wanted to do is start early. What hampers some of our candidates is announcing, later in the period. The news organizations, haven't really heard about us till closer to election. So that was, my idea of getting out early. People are mentioning my campaign, the Libertarian Party, early out. People are being able to look at us either at the state website or at my website, votemonds.com. And what I'm doing now is fundraising. I'm going out and making the phone calls, making the appearances. That's what you want to do early on to build a financial base. And then what I'm doing today, I'm talking to you today, And whenever you want to have me back, feel free. I'm glad to come on and talk about freedom. I was on Fox News on Friday in Atlanta, Channel 5. That interview should be coming out. I plan on doing as many events as I can, and that's just what you do, is get the message out there.
And you've already picked up 1 million votes last time you ran for anything. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, for a third-party candidate, I mean, for any candidate, for a third-party, especially when you're getting that 1 million vote plateau, that was a number that a lot of people previously thought was unreachable.
Exactly. Not even our presidential candidates had reached that level. And so, yes, I'm proud of that accomplishment. I'm proud of the team we have in Georgia with the Libertarian Party. And, I'm just excited. I'm excited about bringing our message to the people.
All right, John Monds, what's that website if people want to track you down or find out more about the party? Where do they go?
That's votemonds.com or LPGeorgia, spelled out, .com for the state party.
All right, John Monds, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll check in with you later as the campaign unrolls, all right?
Thanks, Frank. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir. John Monds running for governor